Thank you everyone for joining us on this Creative Standard workshop. Today we have Ashton Lynne Rondon. Ashton is the CEO of Dulce Vida Public Relations, where she supports her clients by using innovative marketing and public relations strategies to drive more brand awareness, community engagement, and revenue. Her clients, ranging from local, national, and global brands, have been featured in Rolling Stone, Huffington Post, the New York Times, and more. In addition to working with brands, Rondon also has a passion for helping women learn to live happier and fulfilled lives. After a 5-year journey of self-exploration that led to her living her best life, she became committed to supporting other women looking to do the same. In 2016, she founded Women Who Werk to educate, inspire, and empower women to overcome past trauma so they can live life on purpose. To date, hundreds of female leaders, mothers, fempreneurs, and boss ladies have signed up for coaching, workshops, and events. When she's not running her business, she enjoys being a mom, indulging in a healthy self-love routine, wifey duties, spending time with family and friends, traveling, reading, cooking, salsa dance nights, writing, learning new life hacks, and spending time outdoors. Rondon graduated from University of Texas at Austin with a bachelor's degree in public relations with a minor in business. Let's all welcome. Thank you so much for participating with us today. And I'll just kind of bow out and let you take over.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you so much, Andrew. Thank you so much to the Big Medium team for inviting me to speak. For those of you that are here, well, you heard the introduction, that is me. And I am really excited to present this topic to you. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I do have a PowerPoint presentation just because it's easier for everyone to follow. There we go. You guys can see the PowerPoint, correct?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So, welcome to Roll Your Routine, a self-care plan to help you create a radical change. Now, this is a very, very important topic. It's something that I live and breathe as far as creating a routine that supports my life and the life that I want to live. And so I'm really, really excited to share with you some of the tips and tricks that I have used to create that life. Andrew gave a great overview of who I am. I had actually prepared, some tidbits, but he touched on all the major parts. But just to give you a little bit more background, so I am definitely an entrepreneur. I love being able to create my own schedule, work when I want to. As Andrew mentioned, I am a mom. I have an 8-year-old son, and I have 2 bonus kids, and so I love motherhood, and I love being able to take my son to school, pick him up, and also just be there for him, go on his field trips, make food for the class. That's me. That's, that side of my life. But I also, love being an entrepreneur, running my businesses. So I have my marketing company, then I have Women Who Werk, the women's organization, and then I also have a nonprofit. So pretty busy woman. And throughout my career in being an entrepreneur, I have also worked in corporate America as well. I've always been an entrepreneur, so sometimes entrepreneurship was full-time, sometimes it was more of my side hustle. But as of now, I'm going to stay, being an entrepreneur, as I said, because it fits my lifestyle more than being in corporate America. So I'm really grateful for all of the experiences because I've been able to work for international companies, national companies, as well as small and medium-sized businesses. And I've worked for a variety of industries, from healers to construction workers to tech companies, like you name it. And most of my experience comes from marketing. So I just wanted to give y'all just a brief overview of my life. And I also am a wife by way of the fiancé visa process. I don't know if you guys have watched 90 Day Fiancé. That has been my life since 2016. And my husband came over in 2019 and got approved for everything, for his visa to stay here in America. I think it was 2 weeks before COVID hit. So it's been a wild journey. Definitely, I always say if anyone wants any tips and tricks on that, I can definitely fill you in on what to do. Yes, and if you have any comments or questions, definitely put them in the chat. I'm looking at them, and Paloma and Andrew are as well. So as I said, creating a life, why is it important to create a lifestyle that fits your legacy or what you want to do? Like, why is that important? And for me, it's really important because when our society, our society puts a lot of pressure on us to make goals and hit goals. Like, what are you achieving? What are you hustling? Oh my God, you didn't go to sleep for 3 days. That's great. And that's just not sustainable. I have done it. I'm pretty, maybe some of you have done it. And that type of lifestyle is not sustainable. It can lead to a lot of health issues, as well as just mental and emotional issues. So I have been able to develop a self-care plan that incorporates not only self-care, taking care of myself, but also loving myself, being able to still contribute to others and still get things done. So that's the gist of what I'll be teaching here today. And let's go. Okay, so I want to read this to you guys. So realizing your worth and the immense power within you is one of the best things you can do for yourself. And it may sound a little cliche, but each of us is here for a purpose. Each of us has gifts, and when we realize those gifts and we do things that enable us to do more, to bring those gifts out, where we can do more, that is where we can seek fulfillment. And transformation and transforming your life into something that supports your gift is not easy. Going through and dealing with traumas and barriers, it's not easy. But on the other side, there is healing, and there is a way to create a lifestyle that can support your journey. So I already said a little bit about me. Obviously, that's me. And in my work, what I'm really passionate about is being able to work in a way where I don't sacrifice my values, where I can live in a space where I can still have my beliefs, and where I'm free to create abundance, where I can live with unlimited potential. And I'm able to do that in all of my businesses. In my marketing business, I get to pick and choose which clients I want to take. With my women's organization, we help women learn to live more fulfilling lives. So we have a Work Glow Slay Summit, a yearly summit. We have work camps where women come, and so we support them in providing resources and tools that they need to take their life to the next level. So every day that I wake up, I'm actually really blessed to be able to do the type of work that I love. And I'm very grateful for that. And I would love for everyone to be on that level too, because it's just so rewarding to be able to wake up and do what you love. Now, of course, that does not come overnight. There's a lot of work that goes into being able to do that. And that's also why we are here today. So before we begin, I want to here's an overview of today, and then I'll get to know you guys a little bit better, because I love getting to know the people that I'm teaching. So we're going to do a little meeting of the minds, where you guys will type some stuff in the chat. I'll ask some questions, and you'll type some answers in the chat, just so we can see who's here. And then as far as goals and expectations, you guys are free to chat anytime. If you have any comments or questions, definitely put them in the chat. If you do have a paper or a journal, I recommend that you get it. But I do realize that some people like to type, so that is good as well, because we are going to do work. And I did not mention, but the reason why I named the company Women Who Werk, it's because we have to work for the life that we want. Work, and then just put a little spin on it and added the E. So we'll do a little visualization exercise, and then we will go into some a mind mapping activity. And then we'll see if we have time for you to create your plan. But my goal is for you to be able to have a basis or foundation for creating this plan for your life. And I will say that, I'm a list person. So I will put 20 things on my list for the day. And, some days I can get through that list, believe it or not, but I can't do that every day, it's very difficult to just, and it can be very robotic to just have this list of things like, wash the clothes and cook and, pick son up from school, like little things like that. And so what I've learned is like little things like that I have to do. Obviously, I can look around my house and see, okay, I should probably sweep that floor because I haven't done it in 4 days. So, hey, there's a pile of clothes. I should wash that. So in the plan that we're going to create today, I actually leave the little like household chore type stuff out. And that has been very beneficial for me because I have been in doing the plan. I focus literally on, okay, what is going to support me in getting closer to the legacy that I want to create for my life. So I just want to put that out there because some people may ask, hey, well, it's not really a to-do list. It's more of creating a space. And when you are able to create a space where you can flourish, you're able to tackle more things. You're able to knock out that to-do list a little bit quicker. And so some of the things that I say today, hopefully, the idea is that a lot of the things I say will resonate with you, but I realize, we are all different. Our journeys are different. So I do just want to, be compassionate with yourself because some things I say, you may think, that doesn't really fit for my life. And it may not fit for your life right now, maybe not ever, but there hopefully will be some things that you can take and make it your own. So this is a plan and a framework that I really want you to take it and make it your own because only you know how to best support your life. I can give you, some tools and resources, and I'm definitely excited to do that. But at the end of the day, you have to do what works for you. So I definitely want to put that out there. And during, there is going to be a space today where I will ask you guys to share some of the things that you do and some of the areas, the focus areas that we'll discuss. So, feel free to participate. Hope you guys participate. This is meant to be more of like a meeting of the minds. Of course, I have to talk a lot because I'm giving the workshop, but I definitely want you guys to feel comfortable in sharing if that's what you are called to do. So now we are at the meeting of the minds, and I just want to take just a few minutes to get to know you guys a little bit and to see like who's here, kind of like what your status is. So if you can write in the chat where you're from, like where's your hometown? I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. I am a unicorn because I was born and raised here in Austin. And so I'm an original Austinite from North Austin, and I love Austin. Austin's just such a beautiful city with a lot of beautiful culture. And obviously, it's just such a great city. Austin too. Oh, wow, we're both unicorns. Oh my God, there's 3 unicorns. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Hold on, what? Oh, lived in Mexico City for a bit. Oh my God, I want to go to Mexico City soon because I hear that it's sinking, and I think I read an article like in 50 years it's gonna sink, I think 50 feet or something crazy like that. So I want to go there. So Natalie from Thousand Oaks, California, moved to Austin in 2015. Annette is from the Texas Gulf Coast. It's awesome. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I just always like to know kind of like who's in the room. So if anyone else wants to share, cool, but I'm gonna move on to the next question. So how many of you are full-time business owners, full-time, working on your passion every day? I know COVID kind of, messed some stuff up for, a lot of us. But yeah, if you are full-time working on your passion or self-employed, let me know. So Annette is, I definitely feel, a lot of us, there were so many things that happened last year and we're all, survivors. So yay, cool. So a lot of, we are self-employed, which is great. I love, like I said at the beginning, I love being self-employed. And that's also why I've been able to, that's why I wanted to develop this plan and share it with other people, because I feel like it speaks to anyone, whether you're in corporate America or self-employed. But especially for self-employed people. So in art and admin, so yes, full-time. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. This is great. So Let's see if anyone else wants to share, and then we will keep going. Okay, and then I have a side question. This is one I didn't write down. That's why I like knowing who's in the room. What type of art do you guys do? I'm just interested because, you know, art is just, there's so many types of art that you can do. A writer. You know, I love that because I love to write, but I know, I think of myself, I'm definitely a creative, but I don't always consider myself an artist, but I love to write. Writer as well. Oh my God, this is so cool. Love it. And what kind of things do you guys write, if you don't mind me asking? And then Paloma, visual art, painting, photography, video. I like visual. Visual art is so fun. I originally went to college for visual, or for RTF, radio, television, and film. And then I was like, oh my God, that's a hobby. So then my friend's like, oh, I do public relations. I'm like, well, what the hell is that? And she was like, what do you help companies communicate? And I was like, okay, I'll do that. So that's literally how I got into PR. But now it's kind of like full circle because now I can go back to doing my artist stuff and I know how to promote it. So, okay, so narrative, nonfiction, fiction, a little bit of everything. And then Natalie runs a local arts magazine, editing, writing and editing, and paint, make 3D stuff. You know, 3D stuff is really interesting. And then too, so illustrative and realistic, abstraction. This is so cool. I'm so glad that you guys are able to just work on things that you love. That's just so important. And Adrian, anything from pitch decks for fundraising to children. Oh my gosh, hey, I might need to call you to do some pitch decks. And then Natalie, funny and anecdotal personal narrative, pursue more of that. Awesome, that's so great. Thank you guys all for sharing. Yeah, I'm like, I need to reach out to you, Adrian. You know, as an entrepreneur, it's important to realize what you need to focus on and what you don't need to focus on. So this, during COVID and sitting down and just, you know, not having a lot to do, that was honestly like the time where I was just like finding people to help me build my business. And it took COVID and me sitting there and just saying, okay, how can I be more strategic? So, you know, obviously asking for support and getting support is one of the best things that you can do for your business. Of course, you have to have money to do that, you know, but there's definitely, you know, ways around the money, like Fiverr, you know, using things like Fiverr or doing barters. During this presentation, because I feel like we're having a conversation, we're kind of flowing. So I'll just throw out all kinds of stuff to you guys. That's why I like to know who's in the room so I can make sure what I say is useful. But yeah, if even, you know, using bartering has been really awesome for me and my business. Finding people that like, hey, you're a graphic designer. Okay, awesome. Well, I make, you know, marketing plans. So you make my logo, I'll make your marketing plan, or I'll have a content strategy meeting. So I just think I always encourage people to do that, to think about that as an option, especially women, because as women, a lot of times, you know, we just have more barriers to in a lot of things. But when you're able to give something to someone, it doesn't always have to be monetary, as long as you guys are, you know, in agreement of it. So definitely keep that in mind as you build your businesses. Okay, so Oprah has arrived, guys, and she wants to know, how will you leave an impact on the generations to come? And we're going to get more into the plan here in a minute, but we're going to start here because in the self-work plan, the basis of it is thinking about, okay, what do I want my life to look like? Like, if money, time, my responsibilities weren't an issue, what would I be doing? Like, what would my life really look like? You know, what time would I wake up? What would I eat? Who would be around? All of these things. So we're going to go into like a little mini visualization exercise so that I can give you guys time to think about this. And then also, before we do that, if you don't have a piece of paper or a journal, I would go ahead and grab that, because after we do this visualization exercise, I'm going to give you guys, you know, some time to just write down what you saw. during this visualization. And I do want to say everything that I'm presenting here today, this is, you know, we're here for an hour, hour and a half. So it kind of goes, you know, this workshop goes a little quicker. We do workshops for 4 hours, you know. So this is kind of like a mini workshop, but definitely take time to spend more time on this, you know, tonight or tomorrow or this weekend when you have time, because thinking about your legacy is the basis of your whole plan. So I'll have you guys close your eyes, kind of like wiggle a little bit to, you know, loosen up. Take, you know, a couple of deep breaths and blow out of your mouth. Wiggle your fingers, make sure that you're feeling that with your toes, you know, move your legs. And we're gonna now go into something called box breathing. We're gonna do 5 of these breaths. And the way it works is you're gonna inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and then you're gonna start over. So I will do the first 2 with you, and then you guys can do the last 3 on your own, okay? And this breathing exercise is something that that the Navy SEALs use, and it just helps eliminate stress and anxiety. So feel free to use it in your own life or find a breathing exercise that works for you. Breathing exercises are awesome to help us ground and just like be with ourselves. So as I said, we'll do inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and I will do 2 with you. And then you can do the last 3 by yourself. And if you forget the flow, no worries. Just, you know, take some breaths, do some exhale. You know, this is everything that we do here is we're flowing. So if you're not feeling something, you know, just do what feels good to you. Okay, so we're gonna inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now do 3 more of those on your own. And as you finish, keep your eyes closed. I'm just gonna give everyone a couple more minutes to finish their breath work. Okay, now I want you to imagine that you are in a room and in front of you, you see a mirror, and the mirror it goes across the whole entire of the wall that you're facing. You see it from top to bottom, side to side. It's a huge mirror. And it's a mirror that you can see through. And on the other side, you see yourself enter. Going back to how I said, like, how would your life look like if time, money, responsibilities weren't an issue? So you're seeing yourself on the other side of the mirror doing the things that you would do if you had no responsibilities. So take note of how you look physically, you know? How does your face look? How does your body look? What are you wearing? How do you move? How do you stand? And as you go through the day, like, you know, you wake up, what does your room look like? You go into the bathroom, you know, what does your bathroom look like? What does your house look like? Notice, you know, what time of day it is. Are you waking up at 12 and you know, 12 p.m.? Are you waking up early in the morning? Who's around you in your home? And as you start to think or visualize, you know, what kind of work are you doing? How are you making money? How does that feel to you in the way that you're making money? And how does your lifestyle, how do you give back to others? How are you supporting others through the work that you're doing? What does that look like? What do these people look like that you're helping and supporting? Well, give a couple of seconds just for your mind to wonder around, you know, wonder like, what does this life look like? What does it feel like? How do you feel? Who's, like I said, who's around you? What are you doing? Like, you know, are you working on the beach? Are you working in the mountains? Are you in the city? Are you in the country? Are you in another country other than the US? And when you're ready, you can go ahead and open up your eyes. Oprah is looking at you. So she's wondering how you're going to leave that impact on generations to come. And so I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to just jot down some of the feelings and thoughts that came to you during that visualization exercise. I'm going to put a timer on. So you guys have 5 minutes to, you know, just journal, right? And there's so many ways to journal. Today, we're going to be talking about mind mapping, but when you journal, and even with mind mapping, journaling is it's what comes to you. So you can write words, and you know, there's several writers in here, so they probably know all about this. But you know, you can write words, you can do bullet lists, you can write sentences if that's, you know, if that speaks to you. You can draw pictures, you can make symbols. For this exercise in particular, I do recommend that you do some types of, well, you can actually, no, you can do words or pictures, but just make sure that you can go back to this and remember, you know, what you envisioned. And so, like I said, if you have paper, write in paper, you can do get your journal. If you like to type, you can type it out, whatever works for you. And so we have a little less than 4 minutes. So I'm going to be quiet for a second and allow you guys to just get some of this stuff out. Okay. And we have about 2 minutes left, just to give you guys a heads up on time. And you guys can start wrapping up those last thoughts. We have about a minute left. And this is not to like pressure you. It's just, you know, we have limited time. I would sit here all day for you guys, but we're just on a time limit. So. Okay, there is the timer. So yeah, how are you guys feeling after this exercise? You can write in the chat if you would like. I know for some people, I like to do this exercise a lot, just because I like to really sit with myself and see like, okay, if I didn't have some of these problems, these life problems, you know, because we all have things that we have to deal with and responsibilities, like what would I be doing? You know, how would I feel? And it's a very powerful exercise, in my opinion, because it allows you to kind of sit back. Oh, great. I appreciate that, Paloma. She just said that she hasn't journaled like that in a while. And I love journaling. I'm a journal junkie. I have so many journals that I've saved. I hope at least my son reads them when he gets older. But I love being able to get my thoughts on paper because it's a release. And one of my favorite journaling exercises to do as well, in addition to visualization too, is just writing everything that comes to my mind, like putting a timer on and just writing everything that comes to my mind, which sometimes can be a little disturbing, right? Just writing down everything that comes to mind, but it feels really good. And so the reason why I have you guys focus on that legacy is because that's where you're going. You know, a lot of us were told to make these goals and, you know, restrict ourselves and try to meet these societal expectations, and where we set up our life just to get recognition of achieving goals. And I think that it's very important to have goals and to want to achieve things and make progress, but you have to know where you're going. And more than that, you want to create a life that you actually like, you know? And in doing that too, it's like, what is true for me at this time? Because, you know, the journey of life is a roller coaster. There's times where you're able to pull all-nighters, you know. I know in college I pulled all-nighters all the time. Right now, I mean, last night I stayed up pretty late. I think I went to bed at finally fell asleep at 3 in the morning, which is not typical. Normally I'm completely out, but I think I was excited about today. And then we're about to move. So it's just a lot of energy with that going on. But yeah, I can't, all-nighters, that's not my life anymore. So as we grow and things shift and change and we have responsibilities and, you know, we're not alone anymore. We have a partner. And then if we have kids or even pets or, you know, whatever it is, or maybe we have to now take care of our parents or a friend or, you know, just things change. And so it's important that the plan for your life still enables you to go after your goals, but you're able to show yourself compassion in where you're at that time. So that is the whole purpose of the self-work plan, is to create something that is flexible for you and where you're at in your life at a certain time. So yeah, here's the self-work plan. So we've already did our legacy brainstorm. I did send the workbook. If you did not get it, well, we'll talk about that more in the end. But the way the process works, you do your legacy brainstorm, you decide what your personal values are. I didn't even include a list in those in the workbook, but Google it. Decide, you know, what your personal values are, 5 of them. Normally our values don't typically change too much as we go through life, but you definitely want to make sure. Oh, Brene Brown has a great list of personal values. Thank you, Annette. I know James Clear has a great list of personal values as well. I love Brene Brown. I mean, she's just awesome, amazing. So yeah, when you align your life to your legacy and make sure, you know, you make sure that you're also thinking about your values, because a lot of times, you know, depending on what's going on in the world, we can kind of ignore some of our personal values. And so this, you know, you want to definitely make sure that you know what those are. And then from there, you can go, we go into the mind mapping exercises. So this is in the workbook. And then you go to creating your self-work plan. And as I mentioned before, the self-work plan is not a plan of, oh, let's make this to-do list and let's check this off. Like I said, I'm still a list person. So sometimes if I'm like really busy in the day, I'll still go and make my to-do list and you know, things that I need to go through today. But this is a support plan, because in order to get you to that legacy, you have to have the right support. And the way it works is, you know, how many years do you, we always hear this at the beginning of the year, oh, what's your New Year's resolution? And a lot of times, you know, a lot of people complain about not hitting their New Year's resolution. And, you know, when you have a year, oh, by next year, I'm going to do this. And, you know, things can kind of get sidetracked. So I like to break the year down into quarters, because say, for instance, I wanted to lose 5 pounds in Q1. Well, if I didn't lose 5 pounds in Q1, at least I'll be in Q2. Like, oh crap, I didn't lose that 5 pounds. And say I didn't lose it in Q2, but come around in Q3, like, dang, I still didn't lose that 5 pounds, but that was on my list. And I made a plan to be able to hit it. So what's going on? So this plan allows you to examine your habits, because your habits create your life. And that's why I love it so much, because when you're able to look at your habits and what you're doing on a daily and weekly, and, you know, if you say, hey, I want to meditate, you know, I don't know, 2 hours a month, and you get to, you know, you have 5 weeks where you didn't meditate, you can stop, you can actually examine those habits way quicker than just saying, oh, my New Year's resolution is to meditate. So it helps you become more intentional in how you go about achieving, you know, creating goals. And actually, I think there was a 2. Okay, yeah. So now we're going to talk about the self-work areas of focus. So this is part of the plan. And this is also a time where I would love for you guys to participate and write some things in the chat for some of these areas. So you guys have envisioned your life and your legacy. And I definitely recommend that you go and do some research on what you can do in each of these areas, because it's a brainstorm, right? And I will say that whatever you're doing now, be open to trying new things, you know, because you never know what's going to work for you. Like, you know, some people think that, yoga is the only way to I don't know, increase my spirituality, but that's not true. There's so many different things and disciplines and activities that you can do. So if yoga doesn't work for you, don't feel bad. That's not for you. Like, there's plenty of other things to do. So in this part of this workshop, I'm gonna explain or give like a little definition of what the type of work is. And then you guys, I'd love for you to add some comments as to what are some, activities that maybe you like, or that you do that work for you, or things that you've heard have worked for other people. I love collaborating because that's how you learn, and you can learn some really cool stuff. Like the other day I was talking to someone, and she had mentioned, I forgot what it's called, but it's some type of, I guess it's a combination of yoga, but it's kind of like animal yoga where you do like animal moves or something like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I've never done that, but I would try it. That's not something that a lot of people talk about, but hey, you never know what's going to work for you. And so that's why I really love this collaboration piece, because we're going to learn some new things. Okay, so when it comes to physical work, what if I have a really good yoga friend, and she never says, I'm going to work out. She always says, I'm going to move my body. Now, moving her body, of course, she's a yoga teacher, so it can be yoga, but it's jump roping. It's like, hey, I'm gonna move my body. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna move my body. I'm gonna go garden. I'm gonna move my body. I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna move my body. I'm gonna walk. So, physical work are actions that support the improvement or maintenance of your physical health. And that's so important because, if you're not physically healthy, especially as you age, it can hinder you from actually being able to give back or to make that impact that you want to make in the world. So I'm going to move my body. Yeah, I love it. It's so good. And I say that now, and I love to, well, yeah, I do love to exercise. I don't do it as much because obviously I'm super busy, all day, super busy. But if I say, well, Ashton, go move your body, then I feel like I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna move my body. And I actually do, I do it more than just like, hey, go work out, go do exercise. So I'm glad you like that. I thought I love that too. So what are some ways that you guys like to move your body? I love to dance. Although, I haven't been able to dance as much during COVID. I've had some speckles of dancing, but I love to dance and just, love to dance. Supposedly, even cleaning your house is kind of physical work too. Pilates, and that says Pilates. I really like Pilates, and it's something that I would like to do more. I think Pilates is a great way. Kitchen dance parties, like, oh yes, I love that. Love that. My husband is Dominican, so oh my God, it's like party every weekend, and it could be no one here, but there's party in the kitchen always during the weekends, dancing, and I would like send videos to my friends. They're like, whoa, where are you at? And I'm like, at the house. We're just having fun. So yeah, all types of physical work. Physical work is not just sports, but it's like, okay, how can I move my body in a way that's going to help me support where I want to go and the impact that I want to make with my legacy. And so when it comes to spiritual work are actions that support your beliefs, principles, ethics, values, and morals. So some people like to think of, oh, you can only be spiritual if you're religious. And, some people are not religious, but they are spiritual. And some people will say, oh, I'm religious and spiritual. But if you guys have any ideas, I'll give some. But even doing like little mini meditation, definitely, prayer, breathing exercises. You guys have any others? One that I have just kind of developed is sitting quiet and taking breaks and taking naps. Oh my gosh, like when I was in college, I did study in Spain, and I loved the siestas. Like, oh my gosh, like a nap every day in the middle of the day. That was freaking awesome. I wish America would adapt something like that. So Paloma for physical, Matt Fit Maddie on IG. Okay, I'm gonna have to Look at Matt Fit Maddie. I'm gonna write that down. I like that. Matt Fit Maddie. And then I'm sitting on your patio, just looking around nature. Yeah, I feel like nature is a great way to kind of to ground. I like that. And Natalie as well, being outside, collecting rocks. That's great. Like I used to do when I was young, and they helped me with anxiety. It's interesting too, guys. So in addition to that visualization exercise that we did, a lot of times when we're little, like when we're a kid, we do all of these things until someone says, "Oh, that's stupid," and then we give it up. So as I mentioned before, like I went into college for art, radio, television, and film because that's what I freaking loved. When I was fourth grade, I like wrote, directed, and started my own play. We did a whole production. I loved writing poetry. I made films. I did all of that stuff, and I went to college like, yeah, I'm gonna keep this up, and then my family was like, well, that's a hobby. And I listened to them and I gave that up. So I would definitely recommend sitting with yourself on, hey, what did I used to like? So I love Natalie, like you're like, hey, I still collect rocks like when I was young. Like I love that. Reading Ross Gay's essays. I'll have to check that out. I'm a note taker, guys. So I love getting information. We all have something to offer the world. So I will definitely, I always take notes on really cool things. Collect rocks and fossils too. That is super cool. Awesome. Yeah, I like stones and fossils as well. So yes, those are all really great things. Thank you guys so much for sharing. And when it comes to, so this is when it comes to intellectual work. So what are some actions that support you in maximizing your creative potential, which obviously is super important as creatives? You kind of want to keep that energy up, getting that flow going. I know for me, I, as a marketer, on one side, I have to write, I have to write copy, I have to write, create ads and all of these things. And sometimes, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, oh my God, I have this deadline and I am not inspired. And so I've adapted like ways, okay, well, how can I get inspired? So I like to read as well. Reading something inspirational when it comes to like intellectual work, but also thinking about self-improvement activities, games, doing research, incorporating new hobbies. Podcasts, that's a great one. That's definitely a great one to up level. There's so many awesome podcasts, and I have been watching a lot of YouTube as well. There's just a lot of great info. So thank you for sharing that too, Annette. Definitely. When it comes to emotional work are actions that support how you cope with life events. So, that can include therapy, journaling, as we did today, how you express yourself through art, reading as well. I feel like reading kind of goes into all of these because that's kind of how, you find out more information. But emotional work is really, really important that you have a way, well, all of these are important, but, we all have traumas and pain, and the more that we are able to work through those feelings, the more we heal, and it creates more space for us to do more in our lives, to be more creative. So yeah, so emotional work. And then professional work. So whether you work for someone or if you are self-employed, I know many of us here are self-employed, but professional work are actions that support you in enhancing your professional growth and development, and that is business, or in your business or in your profession. Paloma also says sharing experiences with others has helped her heal and gain perspective. That's super important. And that's one thing that I really love about the work that I do with Women Who Werk, because we do create space where people are able, such as this, like you guys are all sharing, I love it, for us to see that, there's people, there's people that are going through some of the same things as us. We're not alone. And by sharing some of your experiences, you can help someone else. Like, I've written down several things that you guys said. So yes, that's definitely, sharing experience is so powerful. And I know sometimes that's really hard in the society where, it's a cancel culture. There's just so much negativity, so many people cutting each other down. So sometimes it can be hard to share, but I definitely encourage you to determine what is comfortable for you. So maybe you don't always want to share on social, but maybe you do like small groups, or find what works for you to be able to share your experience to help others. So like with professional work, mentoring other, finding mentorships, taking classes, certifications, going to conferences or events that will help you get to the next level. And if you are self-employed, I do want to, like I told you guys, I like to throw out little nuggets. There is a company who, it's called EGBI. Let me put that in the chat. I think it's .com. It's definitely EGBI. They have free workshops for entrepreneurs until September. And so they've partnered with the city of Austin. So definitely check them out. It's free until September. And then they said after September, and it may not be .com, like I said, it might be EGBI. If you Google EGBI, actually, let me tell you guys, because I want you to have the right information. But they said that even after September, they work on a sliding scale. So they will listen to your stories. Oh, it's .org. So egbi.org. So thank you. Thank you, Paloma. You're so great. Yeah, so definitely check them out. It's on my list to get to discuss, business plans and things with them. And if you have a business, one thing that I'm going back, not to the drawing board, but, I'm working on, okay, what does life look, and all of us have to think about, what does life look like after COVID? A lot of things have changed. So that's why I'm so excited to do this workshop too, because, pre-COVID, you may have wanted to do something totally different, but now things are opening back up, and it's really important that it kind of gives you a second chance to not second chance, but you know what I mean? Another chance to just re-examine what do you want your life to look like? Who do you want to be around you? So definitely take advantage of that pause to come out stronger. And money work is super important, but it's actions that support your financial goals. So for money work, that's about, saving, also spending, because if you're paying off debt, you've got to spend money to pay off debt, investing, kind of what does, hey, I'm going to make my lunches all month so I can save an extra $200 or whatever it is, but money is, it's part of our life. My son had a book fair yesterday, and I tested him. I gave him $30, and I wanted to see what he was going to do with it. And he's 8 in 2nd grade. And so I gave him $30, and after school, it's like, hey, well, what happened? And he's like, oh, Mom, I got these books. He got 3 books. He actually got one about rocks and fossils, so that's pretty cool. And then he's like, oh, Mom, I got $10 left. So I was like, all right, cool. And this morning we had to go get him some stuff for his class. I was like, hey, well, where's that $10? And he's like, what do you need it for? And I was like, well, I gave you $30. You had $10 left. He's like, oh, I thought that was mine. And so I thought that was really funny, because that was his. I was very interested to know, would he spend all the money, or would he try to save some? And he's a saver. So yes, he is saving. And I felt bad. I spent his $10 this morning to buy his class and things, but I'm going to give it back. I just forgot my wallet at home. But yeah, he is saving already. So I love it. And then we have contribution work, which I think is super important. And I also know that sometimes in all of these areas, we're not able to work on all of these areas all the time. It just depends what's going on in our life, how much energy, how much time we have. But contribution work are all actions that support you in helping others rise. And all of these are in the workbook. So you don't have to remember these. I should have said that in the beginning. You will have a copy of all of these. So how are you going to give back to others? I've had to examine that. Definitely, because before you contribute to others, you have to know your bandwidth, what type of boundaries do you want to create, so that you don't feel like you're just giving, and you're depleted of energy. How can you contribute to others without losing sight of yourself? so when you're thinking about your contribution work, definitely keep that in mind, that, we want you to be full. That's the purpose of the self-work plan, is so that you're giving back to yourself and others, but are still accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish. So as I told you, the plan is broken down into quarterly goals and then monthly and weekly goals. So in the quarterly goals, those are your SMART goals. Those are your measurable goals. So that's, I want to meditate for 120 hours this quarter. I want to exercise 3-5 times a week. I want to read 5 books. I want to attend 3 classes. Those are definitely, use numbers. And I recommend that you add 2 to 4 goals that you want to accomplish per quarter. Also keeping in mind, you don't have to fill in all of these areas. Like for me right now, I'm focused, we're gonna travel to the Dominican Republic to visit family in July. So one of my areas right now is physical work, big time, because I'm so excited to go to the beach. I want to look good on the beach. I have to lose this, a little bit of this COVID weight. So physical work is definitely really important to me right now. So that's quarterly goals. And then on your monthly and weekly goals, the way I have it broken down is it says the month and then the week. So you could, June, week 1. And so it's like, okay, given this, looking at my quarterly goals, what can I do this week to help me reach this goal? And so again, you may not focus on all of these areas, but these need to be like tasks that support your growth. So if you say, hey, I want to read 3 books this quarter, this week I'm going to read, 3 chapters of this book, it helps you move forward in hitting those goals. And then, of course, achieving goals requires strategy and action, which that's what I'm giving you guys here, is strategy, a way to create a life that works for you, that allows you to be flexible, that supports you when you're like head down, oh, I can, pull some all-nighters, but it also supports you when you're like, oh my gosh, I am not feeling anything. I can barely get out of bed. I'm looking to get out of bed, but I can still do something to try to hit this quarterly goal this week. And so just keep that in mind. Strategy, action will help you get to that legacy. And these are just a couple of tidbits of things that I know that work for me, that I believe in. So humbling yourself and living with intention. So, that's why I tell you guys in the beginning, like, let's collaborate, let's work together. I don't have all the answers. I don't want to have all the answers. I don't know everything, but I know a lot of things and I will share them with you, and also, living with intention, so now I do believe in, going with the flow and trusting the process. However, too, if one of my goals is to save money, I'm not going to go out every weekend and spend, a lot of money drinking with friends. So just thinking about that, I definitely believe in celebration and rewarding myself, but also making sure that I am living, with purpose and intention. And of course, ruling your schedule, run your life. So in addition to having this support plan, using things like blocking out your calendar, okay, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 12 to 2, that is my, creative time. And I'm going to turn my phone off, do not disturb. And I'm going to create during this time. And during this time, maybe during 6 to 8 is when I have family time. Just creating whatever works for you. Like some switches that I've made this past year were shopping at Costco, because, well, it's kind of forced because HEB was running out of food. All the stores are running out of food. So I was like, okay, I have to go to Costco so I can get bulk food. And then I realized, oh, this actually works so great for me because I can order, get all this bulk food and it lasts us for a long time. And then recently in checking my habits, because like I told you guys, when you're able to check your habits more often, I noticed, like, you know, forever I ordered groceries on Sunday. I order my groceries to save time. By the way, I mean, I love grocery shopping, but the way my life is, especially right now, I just don't have time to do it. So I order my groceries. I used to order them on Sunday, but now I started ordering them on Monday. Monday because the store's restocked, and things get here way quicker than Sunday or on the weekend. So just a tidbit if you guys are interested in ordering food. Yeah, so finding ways that just really work for you, like even like working out. I'm still trying to figure out when's the best time for me to work out. I've gone from, okay, drop my son off, go straight to work out. But sometimes that's like my morning time, my creative time. So sometimes that doesn't work out. And sometimes it's like, okay, I'm gonna go at 2 right before I pick him up. So sometimes that works out. Sometimes it's like, okay, this day was crazy. I'm gonna work out at 5:30, but just be flexible and compassionate with yourself as you try to hit those goals. And then owning your power allows you to have more wins. And I want to tell you guys a really cool story. So as an entrepreneur, you know, like I told you guys, I've worked with all types of people, companies, and a lot of industries. But during COVID, I just realized, like, there's some people I don't want to work with, and I'm not going to work with them anymore. So I definitely turned down some gigs because I just didn't feel good about it. And one of my clients that I have right now, they wanted me to work in a way that I knew didn't fit my lifestyle or my values. And it was just basically they wanted me to work 10 hours a week. But sometimes if I go down the rabbit hole, I'm going to work 15 hours, or hey, maybe I'll work 20 hours. So I let them know, hey, I would like this contract to be a total amount of hours, and I will keep you updated. And of course, the goal will be 10 hours a week. But if I hit my, X number of the contracted hours 2 or 3 weeks before the end of this contract, all the work is going to be done. Like, allow me to work in my creativity and show up as best as I can, as best as I can. And they agreed to it. And I was just like, oh, yay. And then also, sadly, I have never taken a vacation without working. That's the bad part of being an entrepreneur, right? You're always working. So this year I have I'll be on vacation for 3 weeks this summer. And I told my client, hey, I'm going on vacation for these 3 weeks and I'm not working. And they were like, oh, ha, 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 you can take your computer. And I was like, no, like, I've never had a vacation where I haven't worked, and I need a vacation. I usually travel every year. So of course, last year we didn't really travel much. And they were like, okay, cool. And they actually, it's so cool to get the contract because it literally said, these are the weeks that, Ashton will not work. And so I tell you guys that story just to know that you can create your life. And it's more so of connecting yourself with the right people that actually, where you have some of those same values. So I sat down and I really wrote out, like, what kind of people do I want to work with? What do they value? I cannot work with people that just want to work 24/7. That doesn't fit my lifestyle. I've done that. And that doesn't work for me anymore. So if clients are like that, hey, that's not for me anymore. I have to take care of family and, getting calls during dinner. That's not going to work for me anymore. So, yeah, I just want to share that. Always remember that, abundance is available to everyone. A lot of times it's just the way you think about things. I don't know how many of you know, but Austin is in a housing crisis, and it's pretty darn bad. And we kind of got sucked into it because we were supposed to move out at the end of February. And I was like, oh, give us a couple more months because we're renting right now. We were going to buy last year, but then all the craziness happened. And then, so we have been looking for like 2.5 months. It was the most stressful process ever because people would bid $400 to $500 over the asking rental price, which is nuts. And I had, so a lot of people were like, well, Ashton, what are you going to do? Like, literally 2 weeks ago, I didn't have a place. I literally got the lease, found a place. I got the lease last night, and we're supposed to move like next week. So, and I'm not that type of person. I was looking for like 3 months, but in that process, I just really held to my faith. Like, no, we're going to find something. We're, yeah, that was pretty crazy. Oh my gosh, guys, hold on 1 second. My computer is going to die. Okay. So life gets easier when you keep it simple. It really does. Like, we tend to really complicate things as humans. Why do we do that? But the more like that's why I think like the whole minimalist movement is so powerful, because the more stuff you get rid of, the more clutter, just in your life, in your house, in your home, just everywhere, you can breathe a little bit better. All of our journeys have things that we're proud about, things that we're not proud about. And, I have learned to be grateful for everything, even though some of the stuff is not good, and I still have to work through it. But I know that the more that I work on myself, the more that I commit myself to, work in these areas and create a plan that works for me, I'm going to achieve more and get closer to having that legacy that I want, that I'm creating, that I feel, that I see. It's great. And during COVID, obviously, I wasn't able to make a lot of money as normal because I had to become a teacher to my son. And even that was just powerful, to be able to be like, you know what, I'm going to have to be a teacher and teach my son so he doesn't get behind. And that's a luxury, because a lot of parents weren't able to do that. But I'm thankful that I was able to do that. Paloma says she's practiced writing down her values, but never the values of people I want to work with. Yes, that is super important, because if you don't, it's being able to have a baseline of who you want to work with has been game changer for me, and has put me in just spaces where it has created so much more potential for me. So definitely use that. And then the last thing that I know for sure is just that prioritizing your happiness, your peace, your love, your self-care can help life be more manageable. And of course, like happiness, you're not going to be happy all the time. Things happen. You're not going to be in peace all the time. You're not going to be in love with yourself every day, or even your partner, but you can do self-care every day. You can do self-care, whether you're sad, angry, whatever. You can do something to give back to yourself. Like I have this tea right here that I actually haven't had tea in a while, just because, like I told you guys, that whole house process, just like that was super stressful, way worse than the visa process, way worse. But the little things, what are those little things that calm you down, that make you feel good about you, that make you feel centered and grounded in who you are? And just know that, life has so many ups and downs. Things won't always go the way that you want, but the more that you are in tune with yourself, the more that you surround yourself with people that actually give a damn about you and care about, your needs, your wants. And I'm not talking about, yes, men or women that just tell you, yes, oh, girl, that's great. Oh, God. Yes, dude, do it. No, people that are like, you're messing up right now. I love you, but you're messing up right now. I have, like, how this workshop came about was I got recommended for it. And I have people that really look out for me, and I really appreciate them. They're just wonderful people. But those are some things that I know for sure. And again, I really want to thank Big Medium for allowing me to be here, because this has been a really great experience. I thank you guys for sharing. This is some information about That's Me. And Women Who Werk, that is my women's organization. I do obviously have my marketing company too, but I am all about, that's the other thing. Like I've spent a lot of time working on my marketing because that supported my lifestyle. And during COVID, it was like, okay, that's cool, that supports your lifestyle, but what's your, like, you need to find a way to work more on your passion, on your contribution, on your legacy. My legacy is not marketing. It's helping women and creating these events and resources to help push them forward. So that's, some of the changes that I've made. And we actually have some really cool events coming up. So check us out, follow us. Thank you so much, Natalie. I appreciate it. I'm so glad that you got something out of it. And yes, Annette, I definitely understand. Thank you. I'm so excited for this move. I'm super grateful for it. So have a good dinner, Annette. Thank you so much for coming. And if you guys have any questions, I am here to answer them. We have about 12 more minutes. So I am here.
Yes, I just wanted to encourage everybody to go ahead and submit your questions. We only have a few more minutes left, about 12 more minutes, as Ashton said. Yes, please go ahead and put those into the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Paloma. I'm gonna stop sharing too, guys, because, yeah. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys got a lot out of this. And then Andrew, were you able to share, or can you share the workbook with everyone whenever you get a chance?
Yes, yes. I'll take a look at who joined us today,
Okay.
and I'll make sure to share the workbook with them.
Okay, perfect. And yeah, if you guys have any questions on the workbook as you're going through it, I am here. Again, this is a process, guys. It's I still am adapting to my schedule, and as I said, the last couple of weeks with this darn house move or just searching for a house, I have obviously didn't do a lot of things on this list because I was just trying to find a home for us. Because I've been practicing this so deeply, I was able to give myself compassion and say, okay, well, right now, meditate, take a bath, do things that will kind of keep you in your power. And also on this home move, guys, I definitely want to share this. I live in Fleurville. It's like right on the edge of Austin, and it's basically Austin. Literally, the next street is Austin. But I like the area. My son goes to school here. He goes to a bilingual school, so it's a great area. But I just kept hitting roadblocks. Like I said, people were outbidding me on a home rental for like $400 or $500, and I just kept getting no's. But I changed. I was like, okay, I'm hitting a lot of barriers here. So then I was like, let me look in North Austin, and I found something, and I was approved within 20 minutes. So that just goes to that whole being flexible and going with what is for you. So a little bit how you incorporate new habits. Okay, so how I do it, Paloma. So it's about to be June, which is the last month of the second quarter, right? Or are we in the third quarter? Oh my God. March, April, May, January, February, March, April, May, June. Yeah, okay. So so last month, so I would make a quarterly, this is kind of tricky because you can go either way. You can just start with a monthly plan just to get June finished and start I guess I would probably do that because it's June, it's 1 month. So I would start a quarterly plan for the summer, starting in July. But you can, give yourself a couple of weeks to actually get that done. And then right now for June, I would, which is great because June starts next week. So I would start next Sunday or Monday. I always recommend, or even Saturday before the week starts. For me, sometimes I do it on Saturday night. Sometimes I do it on Sunday or Monday morning. But I don't recommend filling out all of the it's June, right? I don't recommend filling out June, like, okay, week 1, I'm going to do this. Week 2, I'm going to do this. No. Okay, the week of, that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, go ahead and fill out, look at your calendar, kind of, get your energy, take analysis of your responsibilities and create that week plan then. And that way, at the end of the week, Saturday or Sunday, you can actually look at it and say, okay, what worked, what didn't work? Did I achieve these things? Because sometimes you may, depending on what happened, you might have to do all of those things the next week, and then you can move on. But that's kind of how I would approach it. So every week you can incorporate new habits. So if it's like, okay, this week 1, I'm just going to throw some stuff out there. Where's the thing? On week 1, I want to, I was just looking anyway. Week 1, I want to meditate for 2 hours, or I want to meditate 20 minutes a day. I want to save, I want to invest $50. I want to, try a new workout class, all of these things, right? Then at the end of the week, it's like, okay, I didn't get to that workout class and I only meditated for 10 minutes a day. So the next week it's like, okay, let's try to bump that up. Or also realizing maybe 20 minutes isn't for me. So let me try 15 minutes meditation and build it up. So it's a circle of analysis, because you have to get to know yourself. A lot of us, we don't really know ourselves. So it's a process, but in a couple of months, you will find a lot of, it gets easier noticing those habits and incorporating them, incorporating new habits and adjusting the schedule. And then I run a business with someone else and we have different work methods, lifestyles. Yeah. Is there a way for us to create a version of this plan to achieve both together? That's a good question, Natalie. I think that it would be great to take this method and create business goals. And that's really great. I do this for myself. And my business partner obviously has seen this stuff, but we haven't created anything as a business. And I think that's a really good idea because it will help you see, because you guys are different. So you can see, okay, well, these are my values and these are my values. So how can we, come together to work in these different areas? Where's the commonality? So I think it would be great. I think it would be great to make your separate version just because you guys have different lives, but to do a business, and maybe the business isn't a monthly or weekly thing. It probably needs to be more of a quarterly or at least a monthly, because weekly, you know how business goes. Oh my God, there's always a fire to put out. There's just way too much. There's a lot going on, but weekly might still work for you. It just depends how you guys work and what you're achieving in your business. If you guys have weekly calls, then maybe the weekly plan will work. So I would just test it out, definitely have one for yourself, test out the business one. And then also guys, these are the areas of focus that I've come up with. This is what works for me. But if there is an area that you feel that you want to change or work on or incorporate, definitely adapt this in a way that works for you. That is the point, that it is yours. I just want to give you a framework, a starting point. Okay, cool, awesome. And yeah, let me know how it goes. You can always reach out. I'd love to hear, how
I'd love to make just one quick comment.
Yes.
Being in service of other people always makes me feel better. Whenever I'm just in the absolute dumps, I'm feeling the worst, I go out and I do one good thing for someone else. It could be something as simple as holding a door. Yeah. And then it makes me feel so much better.
Yeah, sometimes
that's a huge one for me.
That's a great one. Sometimes when I don't feel that well, I'll give it extra. I'll give more money on a tip just because I'm like, okay, let me, provide some abundance to someone else. And that's a really good one. That's a really good contribution piece that you can do all the time,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you so much, Ashton. Thank you so much for helping us out here and presenting your talk. If I could wrap things up and make an announcement that tomorrow we have a coffee chat at 11 a.m. with Kendall Gross and Johanna Tesfaye. And we look forward to seeing everybody again, hopefully tomorrow morning. Thank you once again so much, Ashton.
Yes, you guys have a good night. Definitely reach out to me if you have any questions. I am here. And thank you so much for joining. I hope this is super helpful. Thank you, Big Medium, again. You guys have a great team, and I'm really interested in, attending some of your upcoming events. So
excellent. We'll keep you posted for sure.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Bye.